This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Doug Smith. It is Thursday at 2:30. It is time for our Monday through Thursday 2:30 podcast. This is the podcast where you will hear the science about what actually happened to people during the opioid crisis. And we've got some pretty impressive science on the screen there right in front of you. Okay, take a look at that. That's some heavy duty stuff. Okay, this is a type science that a lot of people, when they look at slides like this, when they look at graphics like this, when they look at pictures like this, I call it the Krispy Kreme effect. Their eyes just glaze over. Okay, but I want to put this graphic up there and risk the Krispy Kreme effect, because what you're looking at is what actually killed 4 million people. Okay, let me walk you through this. Okay, we're going to take our time. Nobody's in a hurry here. Let me walk you through this, and I think we can get to a level where we can understand not only what we're looking at, but we can understand how this contributed to 4 million deaths. Now, this slide, this picture, these images, these graphs are from the Kienbaum study. Now, Kienbaum was in 1998. Kienbaum was a German anesthesiologist. And what Kienbaum did was took 10 volunteers from the local methadone clinic. And now remember, Kienbaum's an anesthesiologist. So Kienbaum, the anesthesiologist, did what anesthesiologists do and put 10 people to sleep. All 10 people were volunteers from the local methadone clinic. All 10 people were opioid dependent. Opioid dependent means that when they try to stop taking the opioids, they get sick. And then once he had the people asleep, he immediately put them into withdrawal. Okay, gave them Narcan, naloxone, very same drug that the all the sheriffs and paramedics and people have out in the community. It will reverse an overdose, but in so doing, it'll immediately put you into full-blown withdrawal. And so that's what we're looking at here. Now, I want to bring your attention. Okay, there are clearly 4 graphs, 2 on the left and 2 on the right, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Okay, and what I want to start with is look for the 0 at the very bottom. Look for the 0. Okay, that 0, that's the moment where the Narcan, the naloxone, is given. That's when these people are put into opioid withdrawal. The time before the 0, that's as the anesthesiologist gives them the medicine that puts them to sleep, and the whole putting them to sleep process. Okay, so and what we're looking at here, we're looking at the heart. That's what we're looking at here. We're looking at the heart, and the question is, what happens to the heart in opioid withdrawal? Because that's what killed 4 million people. Okay. Now, what you don't see here, and what I'll tell you is, as soon as Kienbaum gave the Narcan, gave the naloxone, put the people into withdrawal, there was an immediate and profound 30-fold surge in epinephrine, adrenaline. The epinephrine level went from 15 to 450. That's a huge surge. Okay. And immediately we see an effect on the heart. Okay. Go to the graphs on the left and go to the one on top, and you'll see that it's called cardiac index. Okay. That's really the one that matters, is the cardiac index, because the cardiac index is a measurement of how fast the heart is beating and how hard the heart is beating. Okay. So that's what you're looking at here. Cardiac index, how fast and how hard is the heart beating. Okay. And for those of you who have been through withdrawal, okay, you remember your heart was beating fast, and you remember your heart was beating hard, and it just didn't seem to stop. That's exactly what this graph is showing, the cardiac index graph. That's exactly what it's showing. Okay. Look how the cardiac index goes up and then it stays up. And it stays up for 3 hours. That's how long the study was, 180 minutes, 3 hours. 180 minutes, 180 minutes. You see at the bottom there, 0 to 180, 3 hours. And that entire time, the cardiac index remains elevated. It goes up really fast and then it stays up. That's the point. That's what killed the people. The cardiac index stays up. It doesn't come back down. Now, if you go to the right, okay, look at the two on the right, okay, and you'll see the one on top is called stroke volume, and the one on the bottom is called the heart rate. Now, the stroke volume is how much blood is being pushed forward. Okay, that's what people mean when they say my heart is beating really hard. Okay, when you feel that your heart is beating really hard, what you're feeling is it's pushing a lot of blood forward. Okay, and you can measure that amount. That's called the stroke volume. Okay, and then the heart rate is how many beats per minute. Okay, so when you feel that your heart is beating fast and that your heart is pounding, that's exactly what they're measuring here. It's exactly what you felt and exactly what they're measuring. And what really stands out to me is when the Narcan is given, when the naloxone is given, when the patient who is asleep is put into withdrawal, I mean, the heart rate just shoots right up. I mean, it goes up immediately and it stays up. And the stroke volume goes up and it stays up. And that's the point. It stays up. It doesn't come back down. If it went up and came back down, nobody would die. If it went up and came back down, nobody would die. But it goes up and it stays up and it doesn't come back down. By the way, that cardiac index, the one on the left, one on the top left, that's actually a calculation based on the heart rate and the stroke volume. Okay, so it's measuring how fast the heart is beating and how hard the heart is beating, and it's a beautiful measurement for understanding what happened to these people. Their heart started beating really fast and really hard, and it didn't come down. Now remember, we drew our adrenaline levels on day 3, which means that these people would have had 3 days of this. Okay, and at some point, the heart and the blood vessels, something's going to give. Okay, something's going to give. You take an engine out and you rev it to red line and hold it there for 3 days. Something's going to give, and that's what killed these people. Something gave. That's what killed them. Something gave. Something gave out. Blood vessel broke, and they had a stroke, or the heart failed, and that's what happened. So, yes, you're looking at very intense science here. And yes, you're looking at challenging things to understand. Okay. But I think if we go through it together, I think we can begin to reach some level of understanding. Okay. What killed the 4 billion people? Their heartbeat too fast and too hard for too long. That's it. Their heartbeat too fast and too hard for too long. Okay, their heart rate was too high, their stroke volume was too high, which means that their cardiac index was too high. It stayed up for too long, and something gave. And some people, they blew out a blood vessel in their brain, and they had a stroke and died. For some people, the heart failed and they died of heart failure. For some people, the heart outstripped its oxygen supply and they had a heart attack. Okay, but something failed. You push the heart too hard and too fast for too long, and something's going to fail. All right, everybody, we finished our Monday through Thursday. Alex and I are going to end this podcast today. We're looking for the first 150 people to join us on our mass tort lawsuits. Please sign up. A lot of people signed up today. Let's get this done. We cannot let these pharmaceutical companies and psychiatrists get away with what they're getting away with so far. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm always a little sad when it's Thursday and we end the podcast, because quite frankly, I enjoy these podcasts. I enjoy working with our people. I enjoy bringing the truth to our people. And then that's what you're looking at here. You're looking at the truth. You got some skeptics out there you're dealing with. Put this in front of them. Okay, you dealing with skeptics, put this in front of them and tell them, hey, you're looking at the science of what happened in this opioid crisis. Okay, and it sure doesn't have anything to do with something called the brain disease model of addiction or the dopamine theory of addiction. So we'll hold here for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media and everybody else's social media. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.